What's up, guys? This is David,
Hey, I'm Josh Eccleston. What's up?
and you're listening to the Hot For You podcast.
Super hot for you.
Super hot for you. So this is our first official episode that we're releasing.
Yeah, this is our first episode. We've got, if you listen to Jobcast, which definitely listen to Jobcast, because what are you doing with your life otherwise? Adam, the author, he comes onto this show, kicks us off for our first episode. We start off kind of like deepish.
Yeah, we're talking about advice that we'd give our past selves, regrets, all that kind of stuff.
But then it quickly turns to comedic bro down.
Oh yeah, some fun shit, some real good shit there.
Yes. About the time that happens, unfortunately, there's a little bit of an error in the audio. So it goes from really good, really crisp, clear audio to like not as good.
Yeah, it's my bad.
So when you hear that change, it's going to get really good. So just keep listening.
Not that the other stuff wasn't good.
The other stuff was good too.
Yeah.
This is just, just know that you're in for some really good, funny stuff once the audio gets bad. That won't be a trend on future episodes, though. We got you.
Yeah, we got your back.
Anyways, we're super hot for you, and this is our first episode. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, subscribe, like, comment, shoot us an email, whatever. Let us know how you like it. I was just thinking this week, I heard somebody talk about, and it's a relatively successful, famous person in a podcast, and they were talking about, somebody had asked them, do you regret anything about your life? And they're like, no, I love my life. I wouldn't be here if I changed anything that had happened before.
That's the popular answer. And
it's like, it really frustrated me. It was very like, seriously, you don't regret anything? There are plenty of times that I regret shit. Yeah, I can't predict what I would have been if I had changed anything, but there's a lot of shit that I cringe over, that I just really wish I had taken advantage of. It's just the successful people that it's like, if I changed anything, I might not be the successful person or really happy. So it's something that I think is a bit of an odd fallacy, but I also thought about myself, and I just kind of thought about, what would I, if I were to change something, what advice would I give to myself in those situations? Like when I was a kid, I was one of the smarter kids in my family. There's 4 of us. And so my parents were very onto me about staying on to homework and stuff like that, school, and getting in all these AP and GT classes. And it really stressed me out, so I went completely opposite. I would never do homework. I screwed around. I didn't. And so one of the things would be, just enjoy yourself and take a little bit of responsibility. Don't stress about it. It's not the end of the world like you think it is, because it would seriously just bring me way down. I'd get so stressed out every night thinking about projects I had to do, and I'd just close up and go play video games. Yeah.
I'd wake up with a cold sweat, like I think I have something due, and I wouldn't at all. Nothing.
Yeah, and so that's one of the many things that I would go through, especially for high school, is, go out and enjoy yourself, hang out with friends, be a little bit more open, get out of the bubble that you're in. But, don't stress about it. Take it seriously, but don't stress about it, I don't know. It's it's a hard thing to tell.
So if you
somebody
could go
with
back,
all those hormones.
you would just not do homework, but then you would also like sort of do it?
No, I would say do it, but don't
act like it's the most important thing in the world.
Because I was so extreme about it.
And it didn't
was
matter at all.
No.
Those AP classes didn't do shit for you, huh?
Well, I didn't go to college. It would have helped me in college because they can count for college credits and shit, but that was another thing. Go to fucking college.
I didn't know you didn't go to college.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I wanted
Yeah.
Exactly. I wanted to rebel so hard against my parents, who were so, you've got this brain, this talent, this, whatever, go use it, go. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go be a filmmaker. I never fucking did that shit. And that's another thing.
Oh, hold on. It's happening right now.
Yeah. This is absolutely a fucking Tarantino here with webcams.
It could. Hopefully not too Tarantino too soon.
No.
The long dialogue part is going to happen.
Absolutely.
The ultra violence, hopefully not.
What about the part where we're wearing like volleyball clothes and then it flashes back to how we wound up in those clothes?
Yeah. Like this could be the end of the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
this is the
verb.
beginning.
Tarantino, right? Like that. Yeah, that's what they call it. So.
Exactly.
Like I didn't have to wear pants over here. Now that I look at
Totally
the video,
didn't.
No,
right?
absolutely not.
In
I mean,
fact, just loosen up,
Yeah,
make yourself
yeah,
at
there we
home.
go.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
right, cool.
Totally acceptable here.
But no, to speak to what you said, what I'm hearing there is that striving for that elusive balance, you know, of yes, take it seriously, but have fun too, because you know, especially these days, I feel like you have so many kids who end up like having ulcers and shit because you know their parents are just pushing them with school and after school activities and all that stuff, and at 12, 13 it's like thinking about college already.
Absolutely.
And you know, it is good to, you know, build a foundation of the work habits that you're going to have then, and you know, staying in those good classes and all that, so that when you do get to that point where you actually need to be applying for college, or at least thinking about it, that you're, you know, already working hard and having those good habits. Because, you know, I started off in like all talented and gifted programs and all that, you know, testing in the top percentile on standardized tests and all that. And then it wasn't from any pressure from my parents. It was more that, you know, this transformation sort of took place when I was about 13, and that's when I just stopped giving a shit in general and started, you know, getting high and all that. And then things got worse and worse and worse. And so, but the friends that I was in those talented and gifted programs with, they kept moving forward, and they ended up going to Stanford and places like that. And I ended up, you know, not to bag on this, I teach at a community college now, but you know, I ended up just going to community college at first, and then I ended up getting a really good education after that. But I do feel like that's one thing that I regret, is that if I had taken things at least a little bit seriously and still had some fun, like, you know, have that balance, that I could have had an experience that I'm just straight up too old to have now, and have been too old to have for a while. Like, I wanted to, you know, I hate Duke, but I'm thinking of, like, you know, Krzyzewskiville for the college basketball, you know, where people camp out to go to games and they paint themselves. And like, I wish I had that experience, because I'm a big sports fan, and you know, like, if I had done better in school and taken it more seriously, then I could have gone to a big school and had that whole college experience.
You ended up going to a big school, though.
Kind of, because I mean, I you know, I end up going to commuter schools of those big schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to LSU Shreveport for my bachelor's, not main campus down in Baton Rouge, and then I went to SMU, but it was in Plano, like it was in an office building.
Okay,
you know what I mean? My diploma still says
So it's
SMU
where
on
you
it.
take education very seriously. It's not where you get the college experience.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And you know, like I said, you get to a certain point where if you're 33 and you're camping out to go to a college basketball game and painting your chest and all that stuff, then it's just sad.
Yeah.
Dude, I will do it with you.
Yeah, right.
For real. I'll do it.
Okay,
I don't
so
even
if you-
like sports.
So if you do it by
Besides
yourself,
MMA.
it's sad. But if you have a friend with you, then it's
It's
okay.
just really sad.
yeah.
It's like
Then it's doubly sad.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
you couldn't get any friends
you're
that
together.
acted your age.
Yeah.
You found the one friend that would go act out.
So
Yeah.
real quick, just so how old are both of y'all?
30.
Okay.
I'm about to be 30
Uh-oh.
in like
Yeah.
2 months.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm having a huge crisis over it.
I did,
Yeah?
for sure.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I had zero issues.
Man.
I-
Good for you.
Yeah,
I just-
seriously, it is messing me up big time.
yeah.
Big time.
Wow.
I don't really want to explain why.
Well,
but
no,
the holidays don't help, dude.
No. They
all.
they don't. But I kind of feel like, I know for me, turning 30, because I'm 33 now. I just turned 33, and you know, turning 30 was when I really started thinking about this kind of stuff that we're talking about right now.
Oh, yeah,
in terms of regrets and things I wish I had done when I was younger, like that whole college experience, or like you talk about going to film school. you know, or going like moving to New York and being an intern on Conan O'Brien. I mean, he's in LA now, but
Yeah.
you know, at the time, like, you know, doing shit like that, or
Exactly.
going backpacking through Europe or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and there's certain things that you're not ever too old to do. But again, just like being a 33-year-old.
There's no way I'm going to be able to take off 2 months right now and go spend, you know, those 2 months in Europe. Like I could have done that, you know, the whole semester off from college and all that shit that everybody goes through. Or like you said, be an intern. Like I've got fucking bills. I can't go be an intern for Conan.
Right.
Like I can't go, you know, just go.
But you're getting that sense of urgency. At least I am.
Yeah.
Where you're just like,
yeah.
I'm an adult now.
here's all this stuff I could have done. Oh, maybe I can still get away with it. I don't know. Fuck it. I'll just make a podcast. I hope that goes well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. I'm feeling that. Dude, the biggest one for me right now is being in an MMA gym almost every day and managing fighters and seeing what I could have done, which I can't do that to myself. It's a stupid thing.
Do you mean
to
as a fighter at a younger age?
Yeah.
Like if you picked it up at like 16 and then
Back
you know.
in 2004 when I started watching the UFC and was like, oh, I should learn jiu-jitsu, and then didn't until I was like 28. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, I mean but you can't do that to yourself because
Now, is that just a kind of like a pipe dream wish, or is that something that you legitimately would have, if you could go back now, would you say this is where you should go?
But I'm not. I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like I'm an okay fighter. For being in the gym and not taking it seriously and having a 9 to 5, right? Like I'm not going to beat any of my fighters, you know, that I manage, but I have that stupid glassy-eyed like, but maybe I could.
If I had dedicated myself, I would have been.
But you know, maybe it's good because it makes me have those rose-tinted glasses, and it makes me, as sad as it is, it makes me want to live through the fighters that I do manage, and so I want them to do as best as they possibly can, and sadly live through them. As maybe unhealthy as that is.
No, I mean that's pretty standard. You're just a dad without real kids. You just a manager.
Don't remind me that I don't have kids and I'm almost 30.
Yeah, what the fuck? No, but seriously, I think as long as it's channeled in the right way, then yeah, that is what makes you passionate about it and what makes you care about it. And you're like, I didn't get to live this dream that I didn't necessarily know I had when I should have been pursuing it maybe. But you know, now that I'm here and able to help other people pursue that dream, then I'm going to pour everything I have into helping them do it, you know? So yeah, I think that you know, if you're living vicariously through them and if you're going back to like, y'all know Napoleon Dynamite and Uncle Rico.
Yeah, I'm totally Uncle Rico-ing right now. Like super hard.
Yeah, or like
I could punch him over a mountain.
If he'd have put me in the game, then we would have won state and I'd be in a hot tub with my soulmate and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So like living like that's
not good.
Not
I'm gonna end
good.
up in a van.
Right.
Yeah. It'd probably be good acoustics for this podcast in the van though, like if you set it up right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
A mobile podcast
yes,
studio?
a mobile podcast in a van.
Yeah.
How you feel about doing that at 30?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
and I've
right,
actually
yeah.
really, really considered
Yeah.
that. Plus, I need a van anyway to go to like Louisiana all the time for small fights.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing that, I guess.
Okay. All right, scrap this shit.
Yeah, right.
No, this and that, both.
I know, but I mean this. Like, anyways.
Word.
Yeah.
So, did we get through our whole like sad stories of like what we wish we could tell ourselves?
I don't know. I mean, because I went through, I was thinking about a bunch of different stages in my life, you know, as a kid with, you know, just the school thing, you know, try to, one of the other big things at that time was I was very stuck in my bubble of friends, mostly nerds and mostly related to school or to church. You know, that's where I lived my whole life, basically. And it was just a generic church around town. So it was, but that was our family thing. You know, that's what we were plugged into. And so every week I'd constantly be going to all these different events and stuff like that. And those were the only friends I hung out with. And school was just an obligation that I had. And so that's one of the things that I would have wanted as part of it. One of the bits of advice would be go be friends, expand that circle. You know, I know the people, I've seen them on Facebook, but I wasn't ever really friends with them. I didn't make any real world friends. They were all within this very safe, confined bubble. And I'm still great friends with most of those guys today, but it would be, I think that it would have been a better life experience to have a broader view, especially at that age, more experience outside of this tiny bubble. And that would be one of the things, on top of a couple other things later on in life. But that'd be a huge piece of advice that I'd give myself, is try to get out of that bubble. Just expand your relationships to, just anybody. Just go out and be willing to talk to people.
For sure. One of the things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
You got into drugs and alcohol early.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my upbringing and because of your upbringing, maybe not. Maybe it was different for you. But I didn't mess with anything at all, not alcohol, not weed, not anything, until I got into college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did all of them, like all of the time.
Right.
So I'm like, it obviously depends on the person, but I'm like, which is better? Because you were like, I never got the traditional college experience. And I'm like, maybe you just got it earlier.
Yeah, and I got sober when I was 21, because of all that, because of how early I started and how bad it all got. So, yeah, I guess, in a way, like if we're talking about, going with that cliche of, the experiences I had led me to where I am today. And, maybe if I had that, traditional college experience at that age, then maybe it would have all been too much, as far as the partying and the access to it all and everything. And maybe things would have turned out even worse than they did. And I wouldn't be talking to you right now, or, so that could definitely be the case. I know that's a very common experience, especially when religion's involved, to have that sort of sheltered upbringing, and then college, it's like, woo,
Rumspringer.
Yeah. Right. Totally. Living the English
for
lifestyle.
4 to 8 years.
Right. On the 8-year degree plan. Yeah. Right. But no, I do think that, like you said, it's different with every person, but I feel like if there's not a serious addiction involved, like if someone's not an addict and they really are just partying through college and whatever, then if it's something that someone wants to do and it's not something they feel peer pressured into, and it's not like them living a life they don't want to live just because they're trying to fit in or whatever. If people genuinely want to go out and get a little wild and have those experiences and those stories about, man, I was so hammered and and look back on those things fondly, and then later on in life be glad that, like, yeah, I grew out of that and I'm a responsible adult now and whatever, I think that ultimately, like, that's a good experience, because I see what also happens, and this tends to happen more with women, I think, is that if they get married really young, and they immediately become mothers and they don't have those wild child days, there's a lot of repression there. And then
you talking about somebody in particular, right?
I could think of someone off the top of my head, for sure. But yeah, if people aren't allowed to have that experience, then it can come out later on in all kinds of ways, and you talk about, like, we were talking about Mormonism earlier, and I'm not going to get into all that necessarily, but like, I knew a guy who it was actually, I was 17, he was a friend of my mom's, and he was Mormon, and I don't know the whole story about like him getting out of the church or whatever, but he never done a drug in his life, like sober as a judge. And then in his mid 40s, he had a midlife crisis and got a divorce and just started like drinking and doing blow, and like, he was my introduction to cocaine, this guy in his mid 40s and whatever. And so again, he didn't have that experience as a younger man, and so because of that, I think that's maybe why it came out the way it did for him later on in life. You know what I'm saying? So just like, going and being an intern or backpacking through Europe or just bumming around doing the bohemian thing, whatever, like that's better suited for younger people. I feel like partying's the same way, you know, that if you are going to do it, then, you know, get it out while you're young when you're quote unquote supposed to.
Yeah.
And
Not 13.
no,
But like
no. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, yeah, ideally, you know, I don't think anyone's, you know, most people don't wait till they're 21 to drink
Right.
or whatever. But yeah, ideally, you know, senior year, high school, maybe, you know.
that seems like a good time.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I mean, we're not promoting underage drinking at
No,
all.
absolutely not. And yeah, for the record, again, I'm 12 years sober and I'm a licensed chemical dependency counselor. So, you know, I'm also a realist. Like, I don't know. I think this is not necessarily a popular opinion, but I think that everyone should try ecstasy once.
It'll make you really like people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, and in a perfect world, if you don't get a bad batch and have some horrible thing happen to you and you don't OD and whatever, that like, yeah, people should, you know, like have that experience and see what it's
And
like.
then the trouble is, because it's illegal,
Yeah.
you never know what the hell you're getting when
Right.
they say, "Oh, you want some
Right.
X?" You're like, this much X, this much other GHB,
right,
all this
right.
other stuff.
Rat poison, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you know, because if people have that, you know, addict in them, you know, and then they like really enjoy it and they can't just keep it to one time and that's their drug, and they, you know, ecstasy can do horrible damage to you. So again, I am not advocating like,
Right.
I feel like that's one of those things that, you know, if people should, you know, go bungee jumping once or, you know, what the hell ever, then it's like, yeah, you know, try that one time and, you know, have that experience. It's like you said, it makes you really like people, not just people, but like, and I really sound
Carpet.
like I'm advocating for water tastes amazing. Yeah, it's like, oh, this carpet feels so awesome. Yeah, you know, so but yeah, to get back to your question though, I do feel like, you know, that stuff is best experimented with in a certain window. I would say like 18 to 25 range, you know, because then and I've known a lot of people who went through that, you know, who like I partied with, and yeah, I ended up getting sober and staying sober. But these people that I partied with, and they definitely had their bad experiences too, of like blackouts and, you know, legal troubles and whatever, but they kind of just grew out of it, and those were their wild child days, and they didn't go to rehab and get sober. They just kind of stopped, and now they drink a little, smoke a little dope, and it's not a big deal. So, you know, but again, if that's not something that you want to do, like if you're 30 and you've like made it your whole life without ever smoking weed or anything, then I don't see a need.
Then do X, and then
Yeah, I know I'm sounding like a hypocrite right here, but yeah, you know, like I have a cousin who's, you know, in his 30s and has never smoked pot, and he's asked me about it, and it's just like, no, dude, you made it this far, like,
yeah,
might as well just keep doing what you're doing.
yeah. If you're happy with who you are, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Not that like if you're unhappy with who you are, smoke
Yeah,
drugs.
you should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
drugs
all
are-
the drugs, and then you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say, and Josh, maybe you have something to comment on this as well. Like getting out of that bubble, like that was one thing that I really regretted when I lived up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is where I originally moved to get sober. And a big part of me staying in that bubble was drinking and drugging, was that like I just had my certain circle of friends, and I just went to work, went to the dope house, went to the liquor store, went home or to their house, and we used, and that was all I ever did. And I lived up in North Idaho around all this beautiful country, and I was 2 hours away from Canada. Never went to Canada to visit, you know, and I never learned how to snowboard or ski or any of that kind of stuff. And like I had all that right up there.
This is the outdoors.
Yeah, and it was beautiful, you know, and I never did that. So that's one thing, like if I could tell myself now, you know, going back to my younger self and be like, dude, you have a golden opportunity to do all this stuff while you're living up there, and it's close, and just go out and take advantage of your surroundings, wherever you are.
For sure.
Is what I would say.
Have you heard at all about like the outdoor therapy? Maybe that's not what it's called.
Wilderness therapy?
Wilderness therapy,
Yeah.
I just accidentally had some,
How so?
I went out to this cabin for a few days, totally secluded, no cell phone signal, and then right next to a national forest. And I was out in the woods like by myself for hours at a time, and came back feeling incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, yeah. Need to go back immediately.
What do you think it was?
Here's what I think it was. Just this weird constant awareness that other shit is going on with other people, and then being out where I couldn't pay attention to the other shit going on with other people. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't reach for my phone and look at it and go, oh, what's going on with some person? Do they like what I'm doing right now? You know what I mean? I can't even show them what I'm doing right now.
If a tree falls
sitting
in the
in a tree
forest,
stand,
I can't post
you know what I mean?
it
Like,
to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't. I couldn't. It was just me. It was just me in the wilderness and listening to animal sounds and like waiting for a deer to show up, and it was awesome. So I think it was just not worrying as much about other people.
Yeah, unplugging.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I asked you because I wanted to hear your take on it, but that's the appeal that I see. And I mean, going out into the wilderness is great if you can do it, but like what I recommend to people on just a day-to-day basis is, try just putting your phone down for a minute and going for a walk.
Yep.
Or like sitting down on a bench. And it's so weird. It's a sign of the times now that if you're in a nice place and you're sitting on a bench and you're not like eating or smoking or playing or talking on your phone and you just sit there, people are going to think you're weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you're really chilled out and not worrying about anything.
Well, and even you feel weird. I mean,
yeah.
Today we don't have that. I mean, I did a float tank therapy or whatever, and it was along the same lines of you're completely disconnected from everything, and it just for a while it's this very foreign concept that we're not used to today. I mean, before you could sit down and just enjoy nature or whatever, but now we live in this bustling city. We've constantly got the phones and the laptops and everything, and we don't take the time to stop and think about just think. Yeah. That's one of the things that I think I have an issue with going to sleep at night. And I read an article and and in that article they talked about how a lot of people have trouble going to bed at night because they don't ever just sit there and let their mind go. Mm-hmm. They're constantly occupied by something, and your mind kind of needs that ability to kind of unwind and process and think about what they've gone throughout the day. And we just never let that happen. I mean, I'm at home, I'm always watching YouTube or checking social media or how many
listens to the podcast get?
Yeah,
how many now? Oh, the same number. Damn.
What about now?
Yeah.
Shit.
I slept like an angel at the cabin.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't check my phone, so I was like, well, I guess I can either read a book or no, I don't even want to do that. I'm tired because I was romping around the forest.
Yeah.
Go right to sleep at like pretty soon after sundown, like a normal creature.
Well, and I don't know what that article said, but part of the problem with sleep and technology too is that we're always looking at this screen and all these lights are getting into our brains and it's throwing off our sleep cycle because naturally we're thinking that it's bright, like even though we as human beings know that it's dark outside, if you're looking at this screen and light is coming into your eyes and into your brain, then it tricks your brain into thinking that it's daytime and you should be awake and it's not producing melatonin and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, that's why, for people that don't have trouble sleeping, it's like keep doing what you're doing. But if you have trouble sleeping, one of the things that we should do is like completely check out from all technology, turn the TV off, phone, all that stuff for like at least an hour before you're planning on going to bed. And if you want to read something, read like one of those old paperback books,
with a nice dim light, nothing super bright. Just get your body and your mind ready for that.
Yeah, and I think what we're speaking to like that I don't want to look, you know, like if we move forward to the future, I don't want to look back at myself now in this technology age that we live in and say that like I didn't live in the moment enough, because I feel like that's what technology is doing.
That's a really hard thing to do. I at least for me, is today I know that if I look back in 10 years, I'm going to regret a lot of the things that I haven't done or that I did do today. You know, I didn't take those opportunities or I didn't do that, but it's so hard to change those pathways in my mind. I'm 30 years old. I've built up certain habits and certain, ways that I do things. I'm kind of stuck in my ways, and it's a hard process of trying to break myself out of it. And that's why I liked thinking about what would I tell myself in the past, because I swear to God, that's the same exact shit that I'm going to be thinking about telling myself about today, 10 years from now.
Yep. But you did make the podcast.
Look
at that. Boom. Episode 1. What's up?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's why it's like a useful exercise, though, if we actually do something about it. Like just sitting around and regretting things is just going to make people sad and pissed off and whatever.
Absolutely.
But like I think regret can be a very powerful tool that if you look back at the things that you wish you had done when you were younger that you really can't do. And I think we also need to like expand, you know, our definition of like maybe we can actually do some of the stuff we can't do straight up, but some of the stuff it's like, well, why not? Maybe it's just going to
break
be
out
harder.
of my bubble.
Yeah.
Start making friends with Josh and with Adam.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
people that I wouldn't normally come in contact with, you know, in my normal circles of friends.
Dude, I can't, like, you know, that bullshit little Uncle Rico speech I gave you guys about MMA. I accidentally said that to Deborah, one of my fighters, and she was not happy about it. She was just like, no, life is for now. And I was like, that's true. Okay. So just go for it, man. Yeah.
Sweet.
Do we have hot news?
I think we do. I think we wrapped that up pretty well. And so we've got a little hot news segment that I picked out a couple of odd news articles that I thought it'd be fun just to kind of look at and go over. I got most of these from fark.com, which I hadn't been to in years, and I was just looking for an aggregate of news articles.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's been around for years, and I don't know.
Sadly, I only visit like 3 websites.
Dude, and
only one of them starts with X, chill.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
So, this one comes from Russia, and it's a woman dies in melted chocolate. She was basically just destroyed in a chocolate factory where they were melting, and she fell on the vat, and I mean, just kind of completely dismembered. That's the funny thing, is the story was pretty terrible on its own, but they have the comments down at the bottom, and somebody on their Facebook page said, eccentric, impish, menacing, top hat wearing factory owner wanted for question.
Oh, dude, okay, first of all, I'm sorry, lady, that sounds
sounds like fucking terrible way to go.
And she has a family, I'm sure, and I'm not trying to like be a bummer here, because like I was stifling a laugh just now, and if I believed in hell, I'd feel like I'm going there for laughing about that,
but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How can you? That's the Willy Wonka death.
Absolutely. It's
okay. A few things. First, is FARC verifiably?
Well, no.
True.
FARC is just an aggregate. So this is on azfamily.com. It's it looks like a news site.
So you're talking about this whole fake news thing that's been going on, like with Pizzagate and all that shit. Like, we don't need to get into that.
Yeah. So many podcasts are derailed by Pizzagate now.
Yeah, we do not want to do that shit. But yeah, this looks like
we have a Josh's conspiracy theory segment later, so don't worry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely go deep into that.
Okay, but
that shit.
From pizza back to chocolate,
Yes. So, first of all, so it's a true story as far as you can tell?
As far as I can tell, I mean, I don't have multiple sources. It's a news site, looks reputable. I mean, it looks like a local news station, but for whatever, and they're just reporting on.
How did she end up in the vat?
So one witness said she was pulled into the tank while trying to retrieve her cell phone. Another witness said that she was pouring in the ingredients. So there's.
So she worked there.
She worked there. She
Okay.
worked at a factory where there was this huge vat, and she either dropped her cell phone in or was adding more ingredients into it. And I mean, you're just talking about one of those big things that's
It's probably churning.
Yeah, that's exactly.
She probably didn't die from the chocolate. It was probably the.
Yeah, that's what they said. That
Yeah.
a report was only her legs were left. So that's a lot of chocolate to get rid of.
Yeah.
What do you get when you got those?
And what's the acceptable level of human body parts in
terrible.
a chocolate bar?
I know there's got to be something like that, right? Like that doesn't the FDA or something have like certain parts per million of like animal parts?
Yeah,
in food?
rat shit. And
Yeah.
Bug.
So how much
and
chocolate would they have to mix in to be able to resell that chocolate?
I don't like
That's-
the look of it. Sorry. All right, no more Willy Wonka. Well, okay, one more Willy Wonka related to this directly. Have you heard the theory? That's a fan theory about the original Willy Wonka, that it is actually a film about a serial killer who is Willy Wonka, and all of those people that he is murdering
Through his factory, just
his factory,
covering it up. Wow, that's I mean, that's
And it's
off.
kind
That's
of like
one way
a
to
Soylent Green, like the chocolated people. Kind of. Yeah.
Well, maybe this actually was not an accident then. Maybe they just got exposed.
But seriously, that's terrible.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
sorry.
No,
about
it's-
that.
God bless.
Okay,
So-
anyway.
Real quick too. I saw this meme not too long ago that said, "Stop trying to make everyone happy. You're not chocolate." And,
Now she
but
is.
now spread her joy. Okay, I'm done.
All right,
Oh, awesome.
all right. So this next one I found to be funny and sad about today's. I don't know. Whatever. I'll just kind of give you the breakdown, and I want you to guess something for me. So this is out of Ohio. A teacher was reprimanded for a lesson that was deemed sexually inappropriate. Now this was an algebra teacher, and one of her lessons was one of those like just a generic math question. If something happens in a certain amount of time, how much of that would happen in this amount of time, right? So if you ate 3 apples in 10 minutes, how many apples would you eat in 15? Kind of question.
Josh.
Now she tried to wrap this
4.5.
into a current social media platform. When the text reads, Tony can send 5 texts and 3 nudes in 19 minutes. He could also send 3 texts and 1 nude in 9 minutes. How long would it take him to send 1 text and 1 nude? That's one of the worst fellow kids type scenarios that I've seen.
This
A
was
teacher.
okay. The
Yeah,
teacher,
what grade?
14-year-old students.
And she wrote this in there. It
This
wasn't like a
was-
fill in the blank, make your own thing for the students, because they would obviously do that.
No, this was apparently legit.
Tony was like, "I got you right now. I just did all of it. Check it out."
And so I'm sorry, I've been derailed. It was a female teacher.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just not wanting to use. I'm just not wanting to use sexist language when I say she and assume that because it's a teacher is a woman. I'm just.
Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure when I read it, the original time.
So I applaud this person. I'll use gender neutral terms for now. This educator for trying to relate to the audience, I suppose.
Trying to be way too cool.
Right. Exactly. Like, yeah. And I.
That's the uncomfortable like dad that you go visit their house and like, "Hey guys, you want to check out my titty max?"
Yeah. Right.
No.
Well, and I have a problem with it being like 14-year-olds too,
Yeah.
like if it was a college class, like it would still be inappropriate, but
Yeah.
it's like we're all adults here and like whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even have made the
It
news.
wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, but no, like that's just
That's a mistake.
yeah.
That's a career-ending move.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's just ridiculous to attempt to connect to the students today with something so absurd. Like every teacher always tries to do that. Try to be relevant with the kids.
Right. All she had to do was say like 3 texts in an emoji.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Harmless and still relatable.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
The second variable doesn't need to be.
No, definitely not at all.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Pretty crazy. Well, the other one, the
Did
last
you solve
one.
the equation? Did they provide the answer to the equation?
No, I lost
gee,
track of
what's-
that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to do that. Because
Wait, so
we're-
if it's a half a nude, then is it just like balls and no?
Half of a nude.
Right.
Is dial up?
Yeah, you just-
Your mom got a phone call at the middle of the download?
Yeah, and if it's like 2/3 of a nude, like how are we dividing up the? Yeah,
I don't know.
one boob.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like if it's half a nude.
Or it's like this number,
yeah, right.
and it's like almost a nude, but
So side boob
keeps
is
you
like
guessing.
a quarter fraction.
that's a quarter nude.
Yeah, right.
So this is another one from some talk radio website, news site in the UK. They reported that there was a large company Christmas party, and the organizer of the Christmas party, he's some sort of managing director, booked a porn star to show up, or they just say model, but she's definitely, they allude to her being a porn star as just a guest appearance. She apparently started undressing
Well, she's a
at the party.
porn star.
So this became
What did you?
If you invited
Exactly.
like a gymnast,
Exactly.
they would start doing
So-
flips.
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit, right?
That's what I'm here
yeah.
for.
Why else would you invite them to this Christmas party? Well, he said he didn't expect what she was doing. He was very surprised, and I didn't think it would go that way.
She like lays down a tarp and like gets on her knees.
He
and,
said that the performance was outrageous and he's going to be asking for his money back. So the moment that it got out and that people realized that, like, oh, you got a porn star to come, and people started complaining, he's like, I didn't know what was going on. I just, thought it'd be cool to have her come hang out. Like,
So okay.
really?
So do you think that the guy's angle was to do that, and then when it went wrong, he pulled the brakes, or do you think his angle was, let me invite this porn star and see how many people recognize her, and then I just go, ha!
No, that's immediately what
I
I,
know
was
what you-
thinking
what-
of too. Like husbands and wives there, and then the husband's like, oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't recognize
yeah,
her.
yeah. That look of recognition followed immediately by like, I don't know
I don't know who that is. Yeah. The interesting thing is he's being, I think, by others in the company and even other news organizations are saying that they think he was using it for a story, trying to get a news story. Basically, any publicity
got
is
one.
good publicity, and so that's why he intentionally planned on backtracking on it and be like, I didn't expect that, just to get the company's name out there.
Well, and with the any publicity is good publicity. I don't know because I think he
Work for Trump.
right. So I think that well, and speaking of Trump, I think this guy comes across as either a dumbass or a perv. You know what I'm saying? Like in either, you know what I'm saying? In either scenario, he's either like an idiot or he's the guy that knowingly and willingly invited a pornographic actress to the.
These are the struggles of my podcast interviews.
What?
Company I keep.
Yeah.
Your mom must be so
I
proud.
didn't call you a perv.
Drug addicts. Jeez, what am I doing?
You had an EMT, but like that's a very noble.
This is my backpedaling
Yeah,
defense
right.
always. I'm like, I had an EMT and a firefighter
Yeah, right.
and a suicide hotline.
Yes,
counselor.
yes, the crisis counselor, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah.
The last story that I have is just a very basic one. Merriam-Webster came up with the word of the year for 2016, and it is surreal.
Okay, so how don't you think that like that word became the word of the year because of the election?
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
This is really surreal right
Right,
now.
right.
Mm.
I mean, even everything leading up to the election, just the campaign, and I'm not trying to like turn this into a political thing, but just the fact that, and like I was talking to my girlfriend about this last night, that we've come full circle, because you know who's hosting The Apprentice now?
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, for real. So get this, right? Like this is
so
something.
surreal.
I know, right? Right. It is because we had a reality TV star become president of the United States, and his place is being taken by the former governor of California on that same reality show, and
Who was formerly
a movie star
movie
and
star.
Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe or both or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, like how surreal is that?
It's like political inception.
Yeah, it's like a dream inside a dream.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I really feel like that has to, because you know, like they'll have names of the year, the most popular names, and like
that was part of this whole thing, and they did a whole like, I guess, kind of poll or something like that. There were a bunch of other ones like deplorable, revenant,
and deplorables,
feckless,
Hillary, yeah.
Irregardless.
Feckless. Well, okay, and you know, I should know this because I started off as a journalism major, but I don't think irregardless is not a word.
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Right. No. I'm just saying, like, there are some words that people just use incorrectly, and then there are other words that are not.
They use it incorrectly.
Oh yeah.
Literally all the time.
Yeah. Literally walking a tightrope right now. You know, that whole bit, but yeah. Hold on. What is?
Feckless?
I mean, it means without feck. Like, I'm feckful now. Like,
you don't give a feck.
Yeah. So what does feckless mean? Can we do a quick search?
Lacking initiative or strength of character, irresponsible.
Ooh, I wonder where that came from.
Speaking to our generation as a whole.
Like, fucking millennials.
I know, right? Fecking millennials. That's so bad. That's a dad joke right there. Oh.
Well, there were two other. There's the Oxford dictionaries. Theirs was post-truth. And then dictionary.com's, which was the most ridiculous, xenophobia. Yeah. Not ridiculous, but
no.
All
of these came from the election season.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, now post-truth. I'm not familiar with that one yet. I'm guessing, you know, it's like post-feminism, post-modernism, like...
Is the post-truth related to fake news and stuff, or
possibly? Or I mean, I can take post-truth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But no, xenophobia for sure.
The fake news stuff is becoming a problem because some of the stuff called fake news is maybe not fake news, but it's now easy to just go, that's fake news.
So actually, it's more along the lines of, for example, just to get a little political, climate change.
Mm-hmm.
The post-truth people would be the people that are denying the facts and are using the public opinion or forcing basically relating to or denoting circumstances to which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion than appeals to emotion and personal belief.
Dude,
so
this
it's basically
the year of buzzwords anyway.
Yeah,
all these words that you can come up with to say like, oh, that's whatever, and it just kind of it's an argument ender, they think, and it is, but it's a discussion ender, and that's bad.
Yeah,
you know,
we need to keep talking.
Yeah, and not just come up with words to like categorize someone as something to ignore. But yeah, sometimes people do need to be categorized as like a dickhead or a feckless dickhead. So.
All right, so that was hot news. That's all I had on that.
That was good.
Yeah, good stuff. Wait, so quick recap: we had a chocolate factory death and a porn star being invited to a Christmas party, and inappropriate inappropriate teacher math equation thing,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
absurd. But all of them are.
Yeah, and words of the year.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's pretty solid, sir.
I like it.
Do we have other segments?
Well, the only other segment that I had prepared for this was my dumbass of the week.
Oh shit!
Cue the thing.
Whatever.
We'll make that at some point. Hopefully, we'll have something for this one. So, this one was a little bit. I prepared this before, but a video came out. I don't know, a week or two ago. probably 3 or 4 weeks before, by the time this video's come out, this podcast. Okay.
I'm just getting paranoid. It's off. We're recording. We have been the whole time. That's
Okay.
good.
Good. It is of this guy in the snow, fairly large gentleman, wrapped himself in firecrackers, basically like black cats,
Ooh,
and set it off.
been there.
Not sure what he was thinking, but they called it the suicide vest, and I'm sure people have seen it. Yeah, it's tasteless, obviously. But I thought you guys might enjoy because if you see after the fact, I'm not going to play the audio as to not interfere with anything.
He looks feckless.
And so, yeah, he's showing off the vest at this point. He is going to go light both fuses because I guess he's got multiple wrapped around him. And it doesn't go quite like he expected, I would think, given how he reacts right about now. Yeah.
That's a
Freaking
rough
What
one.
did you
ridiculous.
think was going to happen?
Exactly. And then if you see him when he gets up, it's, around the places where he, it looks worse initially, but then, you see, it's hard to tell from that angle, but he's like
No blood in the
burn
snow
marks.
yet.
Yeah. There's definitely some second, third degree burns for sure all the way around him. And then at the very end, he's wincing. He's basically crying. At the very end, he's like, did you get that on video? You gotta be kidding me, man.
What do we know? What
How many hits
part
does
of
it have, though?
That's got almost 3 million views.
Worth it.
What
Where are the
part
fireworks
of
at?
the
Let's get
country
this
is
podcast
this
rolling.
gentleman from?
From the north, I would assume.
Right, I'm seeing the snow there.
Yeah, because we haven't had snow in the south.
Yeah, right.
God, that is grody. That is grody. You're not seeing that. But
Oh, yeah, it's a rough time. So
Yeah.
I could have almost been this guy a few times.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my cousins used to do so many stupid things with fireworks. We used to take the sticks off the bottle rockets. Yeah, you're already with me. Then we would tie the fuses together, light them all. We'd all count and we'd all stand in the same spot, and then we would throw them up as high as we could, and then just take off running. And sometimes we wouldn't take off running. We'd be like, all right, just duck down on the ground and then just cover your vitals.
Yeah.
And I had holes in mini shirts.
Yeah.
Not good times, but also really good times.
Did you ever,
Yeah.
did you ever have Roman candle wars?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
but
we did that.
dude, I ended up okay. Maybe this is, I don't know what year it was. Past the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
We used to hollow out CO2 canisters, fill those with like explosive shit.
Yeah.
Black powder, I don't know.
Something.
Then we would put a fuse in that, and you'd have a legit pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Like
Pre-made.
terrifying explosive device. Don't do this, kids.
Getting back to regrets, I never
Yeah.
did that.
Dude, we would throw them in, trash cans, which of course we own legally, bodies of water, all sorts of things. Anyway, one day it went wrong. Ooh, my buddy, I was not there for it, but I was there for many, many other things. Oh, Jesus. Maybe I shouldn't tell the story because he could listen to this podcast and stuff. I'm not shitting on him, but the point is, I don't fuck with fireworks anymore. One of my homies no longer has a hand.
Like the entire hand?
Because, yeah, obviously, we were making bombs fucking around with that shit, and it went awry. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Goddamn.
Sorry, that's a sad
Yeah.
story.
Could have
But
been
I had
me,
like a
man.
warning sign before that too, which is unfortunate because I was fucking around with fireworks real young. Because then back in the day in Topeka, Kansas, they would just it was awesome. Like that's the capital of Kansas, and people would just run around the city just doing fireworks. There was no ordinance about it. Like nobody cared. You could do just whatever. And so people would make their own bombs, like pipe bombs, like we were describing. They threw them in the sewer so that the whole city would echo, boom, and it would just go through the whole thing. When I was a little kid, I was walking with my mom to the park, to watch everybody set off fireworks. Not a fireworks show, but just
Just
everyone in the
people
city
just
just out doing
throwing
fireworks.
shit, yeah.
And we hear this huge explosion, and then just like, ah! This guy like climbs out of the sewer, and he's holding his hand, and just bleeding everywhere down his arm, and he's like, "Find my thumb, find my thumb," and my mom is holding my eyes
Yeah.
closed, and I'm of course like peering through, and I see this dude's like bloody arm and hand like all like fucked up,
Damn.
and he's running off screaming, "Find my thumb, find my thumb." Never found his thumb.
Well, if at any point in my life I'm screaming, find my thumb, things have taken a really
wrong turn.
Anyways, the point of me telling you guys this is that guy should be a lesson to you in that YouTube video, which is called what?
He calls it the
Suicide
vest.
Suicide Vest. Okay.
Be careful you don't find any like how-to videos.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Stunt suicide
Okay,
vest.
Stunt Suicide Vest. First of all, don't do that.
Yeah.
Second of all, don't fuck with fireworks. Like, for real, I used to be a fiend about it. I'd blow shit up all the time. I loved it. But I've seen one guy blow his damn thumb off, and then my very close friend lost his hand. So, don't fuck with it.
Apparently, this guy does this kind of shit all the time, so it's not... His YouTube channel is too stupid to die.
Well, he's made it this far. And he's doing well, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get 3 million views. Yeah, we will. Never mind. We will.
We got this.
Put it out in the universe, Josh. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good time.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
How do we close this one out, man? This is going to be the first one that we're brave enough to release.
That's the goal.
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah. I'm down.
I had an awesome time.
Me too.
Yeah. It's fun.
Are we going to do our normal awkward send-off?
I don't know. I mean, it's already awkward at this point. Well,
Anyways, I'm hot for you guys. Thank you for listening. Super hot for you.
Jesus Christ, I'm David.
I'm Josh.
And thanks for having me, Adam, along. I'm
We'll have
Go to
you
his
again.
website.
totally hot for you.
Now, what's your website?
Okay. I'd love to come back. Thank you. It's myproblemisadam.com. Like instead of my name is Adam, it's my problem is Adam. And you can get a book through the website. I get more money that way when you buy it directly from me, and I can also write you a little note upon request if you would like me to. If you got your own personal story, or if it's for someone you know and love, because it's a story of addiction and mental illness and so I'm okay now, regardless of what you might have heard me say on this podcast or any other ones. Totally sober, doing good. So that's the happy ending to the story. But find out about all the fucked up shit I did before that.
Yeah. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Adam and his story, Josh had him on Jobcast. So make sure you go check that out. And
And unless we have another way of sending these shows off, we've already got a good song for Adam. So let's just send it off with Ryan's song.
All right. Perfect.
Boom. Song by Ryan Harris.